Hey guys, it's Coach Yana. Welcome back to Healed and Chilled. So, this might sound harsh, but let's just, rip the band-aid off. We have to stop telling children that all they have to do is try their best and their best is good enough. Because unfortunately, that is actually not always the case. As much as we would like it to be true, it's not always true. Meaning, you don't have to tell them that, oh, because they should try their best. But what I really am trying to get at is that we need to let children know that whatever they are trying to do is going to be hard. And we need to start training them to believe and know that you have to put in effort, work, discipline consistently over a period of time before you can expect success. And especially in this microwave society where everything is so fast, even as adults, we forget that even the grass takes time to grow, even the bamboo takes time to grow, even trees, the sustainable things take a long time. And I think that we do children a disservice when we say, oh, well, just try your best and it'll work out. No, because that's not always true. You know how many times I feel like at this point it's become a legend, how many times Thomas Edison had to fail over and over and over and over and over and over and over again before, wow, suddenly he created the light bulb type stuff. Like, what we're working towards and what we're building is not overnight. And we have to, starting with children, let them know the reality. A lot of times people want to protect the children, which I agree with, but to the point where they start to coddle them and feel like, oh, well, you don't know, so I want to protect you and just let you think that your best is enough. But when they get out into the real world and they're trying something new or going after their passion, suddenly they're trying their best, but they're not getting the immediate results. I think that school sets us up for failure in a lot of ways because it you get the instant gratification from school. You get the instant gratification from the traditional work life. For example, when you try your best at an assignment, let's say, and you get an A, you get that immediate reward of an A immediately. But the long term thing is that you're trying to graduate. So you get those spoon feeds or of celebrations and excitement and things one step at a time for every single thing, or you get that immediate repercussion. So if you don't do well in the test, you get the immediate answer. And that's how we're trained, is that you put in the work, you get an immediate result. When you're playing a game, even in sports, because we are a lot of children, including myself, are in sports, you put an immediate effort, you go out there, you give it all you got, and that's that. The difference in life and long-term success is that you put in the effort, but you might not see the result for years or for months down the line. And then you start to feel like, oh, I don't want to do this stuff anymore. Why am I doing this? Because I'm not even getting the results. I'm not getting what you're used to getting. So you start to think, oh, well, I'm not making any progress. I'm not doing anything because I haven't got the benefits of doing so yet. But you gotta get there first. And I have to remind myself this, and I have to talk to people. And that's part of the reason why I started the podcast, was so that I could, be around more people who have this type of mindset and who have done similar things to what I want to do. So it can remind me, okay, like, this is where we are right now, but where we're trying to go might be a little bit further down the line. But it's true. We really have to take a back seat sometimes and reanalyze, like, okay, where are we going? And then they say, like, do it based off of 10 years and 10, like in 10, 10, 10. In 10 minutes, what's the difference going to be? In 10 days, what's the difference going to be? In 10 years, what is the difference going to be? And one thing that I also have to learn as a woman, and as myself, and I've had a lot going on. I've had some deaths in the family, and it's been a lot, honestly, just a lot of change happening at once. Life has been lifing. Um, but Like I have to work on having like a balance, like not going too hard and not doing anything either. Like I'm a creature of seasonality, and I want to be more succinct on how I do things. So, all of us are works in progress. And I think it's really just about recognizing where you are, recognizing who you are, and taking breaks where you need to, and then jumping on the horse and really and going. At the end of the day, we all go through things. So I think it's also important that we're honest with children as well, and like, hey, look, whatever you're doing right now, it sucks, and don't diminish their version of a life-changing event. Like when I was in high school, for example, the biggest thing that I had to think about in high school was getting my back handspring because I was a cheerleader, and like there was just a whole drama with that. I'm not going to get into it. Those who were there know what was up. But anyway, it was like a whole drama about getting this freaking back handspring. And like those of you who don't know, I'm pretty darn tall, and I'm like double jointed. So it would just all the things that you're not supposed to have for a back handspring, I had all them things. And I would try so much, so hard. And I just never fully got it, never. Um, but that was the biggest thing for me. And we have to let the children have those things, let them process it, and also be real, like, hey, look, you're putting in this effort and you might not get it. It is what it is, but life goes on. And so once we can help them deal with that, the reality that you can keep trying and you might not get it, and like maybe this thing isn't for you, because in hindsight, like I realize that I don't even like flipping. I don't even like stunts. I just want to dance and cheer. I don't really care about putting the stunt up. I'm not a competitive cheerleader. I am a dancer at heart. Period. I want to be out in front of the crowd. I don't care nothing about these stunts. I don't care nothing about no tumbling. And I just had to realize I really didn't care about it anyway. But at the time it was such a huge deal. So what I'm saying is we can still be supportive of them, but also, helping them ground. Like, hey, look, this is a big deal to you. So what are you going to do to fix it? What are you going to do to get to that next level? And don't say, oh, in 10 years this won't matter, because right now it does matter to them. Right now it does matter. That's like saying your biggest problem in 10 years won't matter. Yeah, it likely won't. But it doesn't make it any less severe and serious to you. So I would just say, instead of saying like, hey, your problem doesn't matter, like, okay, this is your biggest issue right now. How are you going to resolve it? Are you going to keep trying, or are you going to give up? That's just what it is. And I'm certain that if I would have kept trying and trying, then I would have got it. But as I was doing it, I realized I didn't even like it. I didn't even want to do it. I was just trying to do it because of the cheerocracy. But then I ended up going to college and cheering, and I was on a team that didn't have stunts or flips. And I just got to do the dance part, which is what I really wanted to do in the first place. So sometimes it's about letting children and ourselves get that out of our system. Try your best, yes, but maybe this thing just isn't for you. Or maybe it is for you, just in a different way. And adjusting to what it looks like practically and the reality of it. Stop feeding our children this baloney that you're going to have this magical experience and suddenly everything's going to work and it's going to click. Like eventually, sure, that's the goal. But what we don't remember is once you get to that goal, now you have to do all that plus. It does life doesn't get easier. You just get stronger, better and better. Period. And that's ultimately what I'm trying to get to here. We have to be honest with children. Life does not get easier, okay? You just get better, period. And at the same time, when you're going after something and you want your life and you want to thrive and grow, you have to be willing to be different. You have to be willing to put yourself out there. You have to be willing to go against the grain and do things that other people aren't doing, and behave in ways that other people might not understand. And eventually you'll get around people who won't judge you or won't look crazy at you because you dare to dream. But the person that you will become is going to be very different. And one thing that Jim Ron said, which, I refer back to Jim, that's my dude for real. He says that, well, his mentor told him, excuse me, I'm recovering from the flu, but his mentor told him that you become a millionaire, not necessarily because you become a millionaire, but yes, but you also become a millionaire because of the person that you have to be to become a millionaire. And as I continue on my journey, I'm realizing more that the person who I was couldn't handle my life right now, period. And the person who I'm going to be requires even more growth, even more boundaries, even more prioritization of self, even more prioritization of my mission and what I want to do, even more dedication, even more, maybe in a different way. Maybe in a different way. Maybe it requires me seeing world differently. Maybe it requires me calming down. Maybe it requires adjustments. But once you find what really, I like to say, makes your heart sing and what really makes you feel great, you have to stick with that. And it's so easy, especially like I said, I had some deaths and just so many things happening recently. It was a lot, but that's the benefit of like community where you have a good podcast conversation with someone. That podcast will be out soon enough with Kevin. That was amazing. And you really just you go back to the things that you need to fuel yourself back up. And you have to be on it. You have to be on it. And it's okay to have those moments, especially as a woman. Like you have to be in your emotion. Like it just is what it is. And though, you don't have to be there forever. So I would just say, take it one day at a time, but also let's stop lying to children and giving them this glamorized thought process of what success looks like. Success is hard, period. It's hard work. It's grueling. It's everyday consistency, every day doing something. Even if all it is getting your mind together. It took me being sick for days and only literally being able to think because I couldn't even I could barely talk. It was just horrible. You can even hear it in my voice. I'm still not great. But, it took that crash out, from the universe saying, nah, you need to chill out. You need to take a nap, girl. You need to calm down for a couple days for me to recenter and remember, okay, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. It's not for the instant gratification or the instant reward. It's for the long-term benefit, the long-term um, growth, the 10-year growth, the 10-month growth, not the 10 minutes, not the 10 days, because we probably won't see it then, maybe the 10 months, but 10 years from now, what will today fruit? And when you think about it that way, it puts a lot of things into perspective. But when you're not at your best, it's okay too. And like Florence Scovel Shinn says, never do today what divine intelligence or what source is telling you to do tomorrow. So once again, it's all about balance. And the sooner we can get this into the minds of our children, the better. All righty. If you like this background, by the way, me and my brother, I took him on a date. One of the ways that I like to make all the young people in my life feel seen, safe, heard, and appreciated. The ones that I have immediate access to is I'll take them on little dates. And my siblings are now in college and in high school, and we still do this. I've been taking my siblings on dates ever since I could drive. So yeah, and we do like even before that really, but I couldn't drive when I didn't have no money before that because I was in school. But now that I have money and stuff, you feel me, we'd be going out. So this picture that I took, my brother and I actually did like this little cruise thing. It was super great. And so I would just encourage you like to remember, even as they become teenagers, even though I work with children, because I just feel like teens are just big children. College students are just big children. Shoot, I still feel like a child if I'm being honest with you, and I'm about to be 30. But like I said, the importance is just, taking it one day at a time and doing the things for others that you want other people to do for you and doing things for yourself that you need to do so you can keep growing. And little by little, a little becomes a lot. And before you know it, you'll be a totally totally different person. The person I was 10 years ago, well, I was a teenager, but the person I was 10 years ago was a very, very different from the person I am today. And the person I'll be probably 10 months from now will even be different. So, a reminder to have grace with ourselves, to teach our children grace, not do not minimize their issues, but teach them how to process it so that when the challenges become bigger, they'll be able to handle it. All right, this is Coach Yana, the children's confidence coach, helping children um, what's the slogan again, child? Oh, because confident children become capable adults. Remember, it takes a village to raise a child, and so let me be a part of your virtual village. Until next time, bye. I really like this avatar thing, so I'm probably going to do it again.